The Batakloa 4 are convicted and sentenced for the cowardly murder of a homeless man in Pretoria, but they'll stay out of jail pending an appeal. Jailed for a crime he never committed just because he's deaf. And a former boxer gives Layla Ali some unexpected motivation ahead of her first fight in South Africa. Live from Johannesburg, this is E-News Primetime. Good evening. The Batakloa 4 have been sentenced to 12 years in jail for murder, but they are still free men tonight. The 4 beat a black man to death in 2001 when they were still teenagers. The magistrates branded them cowards who had gone looking for trouble, but he's granted them leave to appeal.
Convicted of murder, but these 4 have never accepted they did anything wrong and never showed remorse before the cameras. Christoph Becker, Gert van Skalkweg, Frikkie de Pree and Reinhard Tet. At the time of the murder, the eldest of them was just 16. They'd been out drinking and then beat up one black man who escaped with his life. Their next victim, attacked here in Moreleta Park, wasn't so lucky. Neither victim was ever identified. They insisted that they were innocent and that they thought the dead man was a robber. The 4 clearly hoped the magistrate would sympathize. Throughout the sentencing, the 4 friends kept smiling and winking at each other in an attempt to reassure each other that everything would be all right. But by the time the judge had sentenced them to 12 years behind bars, the smiling had stopped. Magistrate Len Kotzer said this was a cruel murder committed by 4 cowards. He said they should have known better than to commit an act that would send them to jail. The magistrate sentenced them to 2 months imprisonment for the assault. But the 4 also won an extension of their bail while their lawyers lodged an appeal. That's likely to happen within 6 months. Hale Nair, E-News, Pretoria.
Top cop Jackie Salebi's staunch defense of police forensic skills is being questioned by the Justice Department. 4 days ago, the National Police Commissioner told MPs his forensic experts are on top of their workload. But justice officials say they're actually stalling the fight against crime.
More than 33,000 criminal cases were pending at the end of last year. But National Police Commissioner Jackie Salebi has told Parliament it's not the fault of police. He says South Africa's only forensic sciences laboratory is up to speed.
In 2005, they received 48,000 cases. 48,000 cases. Cases that they completed, 46,000.
He also dismissed claims by the Auditor General that his detectives lack proper training. But now he's up against the Justice Department. It's blaming police for creating the backlog in courts.
The major contributing factor to cases that have not been finalized is cases which have been sent for laboratory analysis that have not been brought back because of the delays that police experience in terms of the capacity and other issues that they have to deal with there.
So just who is fooling who? Salebi's office has refused to comment on the allegations by the Department of Justice. They say they'll need to study the report first before responding to it. But Salebi's stance has been weakened by the outcome of a high-profile court case. Earlier this month, a drunk driving charge against former Correctional Services Commissioner Linda Mthi was struck off the roll as investigators were still waiting for results of his blood tests. Lukhanya Chalata, E-News, Cape Town.
A deaf Johannesburg man has been reunited with his family after needlessly spending a night in jail. 24-year-old Patrick Mkhize was wrongly accused of stealing a car. The charges have been withdrawn, but his outraged family is demanding answers.
Patrick Mkhize's nightmare began here. He earns a living washing cars and thought nothing was amiss when a man left his vehicle to be washed. Then police arrived, demanding to know who had brought the car. Mkhize produced the keys and was arrested on the spot. Police couldn't understand what he was telling them. And the car wash owner, Andrew Matlala, says they ignored people who pleaded his innocence.
They found the keys on him and said he's the culprit. We tried to explain, but to no avail.
Until today,
it was here at Alexandra police station where scared and confused Patrick Mkhize spent the night. Witnesses say the officer who made the arrest couldn't communicate with him, and there were no translators here when he was charged. Mkhize was then bundled into the holding cells, allegedly without being informed of his rights.
Though they're happy to have him home, Mkhize's family is angry and want answers from Alexandra police.
How do I confirm that the person is dead and so I can some more next as
No, they're not dead.
Deaf.
No, deaf.
Deaf, yeah.
Deaf. He can't speak.
Okay.
They initially weren't convinced Mkhize is deaf.
He's outside.
Can I see him? I will never intimidate him.
Okay.
Can you read?
But communication was difficult without a sign language translator.
No, I can't talk about
Gauteng police say they still have to question the arresting officer. Tumale Mutlaudi, E-News, Alexandra.
Firefighters in the Western Cape have had a month from hell. They've been battling fires almost non-stop since the beginning of the year, and the province is now counting the cost of widespread devastation.
A bird's eye view of some of the destruction caused by the most recent fires. In just one day last week, 110 fires flared up across the province. Emergency services say they'd been sparked by a combination of high temperatures and strong winds. One of the worst broke out in Khayelitsha, on the outskirts of Cape Town, and left hundreds homeless. In Atlantis, factory workers had to help exhausted firefighters as raging fires spread to 9 different areas. Firefighters who've been working around the clock are now being assisted by 80 reinforcements from the Eastern Cape and Free State. Authorities are still trying to determine the extent and cost of the damage. They say it'll take years for the affected areas to recover, and firefighters are on high alert as temperatures are again expected to soar. Robin Smith, E-News, Cape Town.
And time now for a look at how the markets have performed. When E-News Primetime continues, just how long did a South African teenager spend in the landing gear of an international airliner before he died?